What's up, everybody? Welcome to the View from Jamestown podcast edition. This is episode 53, and this is the April 2021 edition. We're sitting down this morning with TCC President Robb Roach, VP of Sales and Marketing AJ Petrarca, and Latin American Operations Manager Javier Fernandez.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Going to bed.
Happy Wednesday.
It is. Hump day.
Is it?
It is
Yeah,
Wednesday.
it is.
All day.
one day only. What's going on? Happy April.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's warm outside?
Yeah, warm outside, and spring has sprung. The grass is riz, and there's lots of flowers. So, pretty nice winter and spring, in my opinion. So, and
That was like a haiku. Could we roll that back again?
haiku.
Got a little rhyme going on.
Well, the rhyme is, spring has sprung, the grass is riz. I wonder where the flowers is. But they're already here.
I thought you came up with that. I've never heard that.
I don't know. My mom used to say it to me all the time. April showers bring Mayflowers.
Yep.
What do the Mayflowers bring? Pilgrims. So yeah, all these silly things, but it's to celebrate spring. We love spring, and
It's a good time of the year.
it's a great time of the year. It really is. Except for we all got sniffles or COVID. One of the allergies. Everybody's got allergies right now, so it's nice to be in person with y'all. We don't want to hex that.
Yeah, excited to be back in the podcast studio here.
Vaccinated. Come on, AJ. You're open and available. So we're not going to get any of the viewers sick. At least all of us but AJ.
But yeah, jumping right into it, it's been a interesting, I think, April so far. I guess going on Q6 of 2020 because it seems like it hasn't stopped. Everyone that we're talking to, and it seems like every product these days, there's some sort of supply tightness, whether that's due to production issues and physical material not being available, or whether it's a vessel issue, a trucking issue, LTL issues. Seems like there's delays and problems all over the place.
Yeah.
I talked to a customer earlier. He said he was unable to get price increases through to his customer base. I was like, what? How are you not? Like, if you can't get a price increase through now, how do you, you can never. Everything is sideways. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, there's not much to say about it except it's just it's funny you say that, AJ. That maybe the only comment is that people are starting to think this is fake news. Like, it's not.
It's as real as it gets.
Yeah, it's as real as it gets. I mean, just simply, we used to pay $2,000 to $3,000 to ship a container from China. What does it cost now?
10,
10,
11.
8, 10, 12, maybe if you're lucky.
ISOs 15, 17.
15, 17.
No,
There's only,
no,
they just got that freighter unstuck in the Suez Canal. That's starting to really back things up out of Europe. There's still broken pipes and whatnot in Texas from Winter Storm Uri. There's so if you look back at 08, 09 when we had the financial crash, which wasn't as intense as this one, it lasted 3 years. So let's get with it. This is going to last a while. It's going to be a couple 3 years, and we haven't even gotten into the logistics issues yet that we're having here domestically with. You want somebody to drive from Texas to Maine or Texas to Oregon? Forget about it. They're not going to do it. They don't even want to take it. It's a bad use of assets. So yeah, it's just interesting times to say the least. But we're busy. Business is busy, and everything we have is getting sold. And hopefully that continues, and our supply chains become more robust with supply, better rateable supply.
Yeah, and one thing I was trying to do, putting these, notes together like we always do for the podcast, is it's all good and great talking about what's going on and what the implications are, but trying to actually give some sort of tangible feedback or advice or things that people can actually walk away and do. And I think based on my 2 cents, and maybe you guys would agree or not agree, is, buy now to secure your supply chains for summertime. Yes, prices are high. Yes, lead times are long, but we kind of expect this to last in the, well past the summer, I think, at this point.
I think that's prudent advice. It's if you wait, you might not get it, period. So, and then, buy now because, what we used to be 4 to 6 became 6 to 8, became 8 to 10, so now we're mid-April. We're talking about June 1st shipments. So we're negotiating price on June 1st shipments. So that's 6 weeks away before it even ships from the plant, which can be delayed 8 weeks from there to get it here. Less ships moving around the world not so many quick lanes, so yeah, I mean, I think prudent advice to buy now and secure. That's what we've been talking about 2 months ago is what
Right.
we're now talking about here. We were saying in, February, we need to think about May, June, what's going to happen May, June, July. And here we are, and we probably don't have enough.
Yeah, and AJ, I know you do a lot, obviously, from China, and Javi doing really the rest of the world. And I'm sure you guys would pretty much agree with that. Is get orders on the books and secure supply chains.
Sure.
Are the prices a little bit high? Yeah, but would you rather pay a little bit more and have the material? I would assume yes.
Yes.
Yeah, shipping is bad and getting worse. Every morning, the emails are just flooding in from Asia, just delay after delay after delay. And, you can't really plan or live by ETAs anymore.
Yeah.
We have containers that we ordered in February that are now pushed out to June, mid-June ETAs. That's that 3.5, 4 month lead time from, and that's if that ETA sticks, that could get delayed even further. It's,
On the same token, the people are getting tired of the lead times from Asia, and they are looking other places to supply, and U.S. is perfect because you can get to Latin America in 7 days, 4 days to Colombia, 12 days to the Andean region or Brazil. You can get it quick too.
Yeah.
So we have had an uptick on our Latin American business due to the logistics side of things.
Which will put further strain on domestic capacities. I mean, that's not historically, Latin Americans buy wherever's cheapest, and they are used to lead times, let's call it average lead times, not the current lead times, but yeah, I mean, it's already sold out positions become even more strained in sold out positions. So, you have to diversify your supply chain and build security in by, getting what you can where you can.
And I think some of the worst of it too is just the lack of information. Like we'll find out weeks before something's supposed to arrive here that it never even shipped. Like that information would have been great when it didn't ship, but that's been a big part of it. I think you would agree too. Is just the lack of information going back and forth is even tough.
Yeah, it's tough to track everything. Like we've had instances where containers changed vessels in Korea and just sat there, and it's really difficult to track everything that's going on because it is so busy right now. But we're doing our best.
It's not just Asia. I mean, Europe has been horrible at releasing product and
Yep.
plagued by force majeures and outages as well. So, I mean, whether it's a cracker outage and they can't keep, they can't get a major raw material or, broken pipes at a plant or you name it. I mean, it's happening. And that's something we also saw the last time we had this type of situation where we went through a steep decline, economic decline, and then economic progress. It's going to last a while, and we'll eventually get to raw materials. We're starting to see some crazy action in the raw materials space. So
Yeah, it seems like the shipping out of like Latin America has been okay, but then you run into outages and product not being available, which becomes the other problem.
Yeah, and also another thing that I forgot to mention is that because of the cost of freight, we're loading more 40s now, 40-foot containers. So it kind of lower the cost of the product a little bit, but still, I mean, it's. Yesterday I got a quote from Asia, and it was like FOB only. I was like, what about the port? He's like, there's no vessel space until further notice. I'm like, wow, that was a first.
Crazy times. That's I guess a good segue right into some of the logistics things that we're seeing more so, to the U.S. Obviously, trucking remains extremely tight, if you even want to call it tight, versus just not available. LTL is tough. Liquid bulk is tough. There's not really anything that's not tough.
Equipment, like 3 weeks to get an ISO tank. And that's a problem because the prices are usually monthly. So today, 3 weeks from now, the price, I don't know what the price is going to be in May. So
Yeah.
so what should I quote? TBD? I don't know. It becomes a problem.
How long are you trying to get a truck out of Texas? Which I don't even think we ever found one. Good couple weeks.
We're still looking. Yeah, it's been a couple, 2 or 3 weeks for a long haul out of Texas liquid bulk. They're just not available, and it's kind of weird because you would think with everybody being on FM and capacities being limited or volumes being limited, you'd think that trucking would be loose, but it's not the case at all. There just doesn't seem to be enough trucks to go around.
And we're in produce season now, right? So that's that's certainly going to have every year. There's an anticipation from our logistics companies to say, "Hey, produce season is coming. Beware!" And it's here. So further strain on domestic capacities.
Yeah, something else to add fuel to the fire of the logistics
Right.
issues. Just what we need. So yeah, I mean, I think the moral of the story is get your orders in, plan for extended lead times, send Javi a WhatsApp, get your order on the books, and
You're on the books.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we talk about Asia because that's it's certainly a major source, but we're everywhere. We're coming out of all Middle East, all different areas, and it's really is not an overwhelming focus on specifically China anymore. That's just a portion of what we're doing, but and certainly our greatest relationships are our European and U.S. Producing partners, which we're growing significantly with. So. And that's been a focus for us for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Pivoting a little bit, something to talk about aside from just stuff being tight and logistics being tough. Seems like something we're talking about a whole lot more recently that's kind of trickling into all different kinds of avenues and business units is the European regulations on the renewable energies and renewable biodiesels. I've seen numbers anywhere from 14 to 35%. And I think what that means is that up to 35% of biodiesels and fuel used throughout Europe, and it varies based on the countries, have to be from renewable sources. So we've seen things like CTO or soy oil or vegetable oil being pulled into these applications. We're starting to see, specific to our business, some of these major plasticizer producers producing bio-based plasticizers, whether they're just trying to get ahead of the curve or, follow along with some of these mandates. So something that we've seen a lot more of, the government's able to pay subsidies for companies to be using some of these materials, so it kind of artificially inflates the prices of these raw materials, which makes it difficult for historical things that use something like CTO going to tofu production. Makes tofu much more difficult because they're being able to pay 2x prices for something like CTO. So something that's going to be around for a while, and I think really just the first year of starting to hear a lot about it as some of these regulations go into effect. But this seems like it's coming up more and more over the weeks of conference calls and emails that we get and things like that. Something I think to keep a close eye on as it continues to evolve. I think every year there's percentages that it increases until inevitably it gets to 100% sometime 10, 20, 30 years down the road. But one of these trends that I think everyone talks about, renewable energies and electric cars and all this stuff, but this is a tangible, real legislative thing that's happening.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly we're progressing into a more environmentally conscious world. Just this week we talked. China and the U.S. made agreements on environmental policies and things. There's certainly the effects of climate change we're seeing, and pretty much across the board, everybody's in agreement that we're seeing an impact from climate change. I think even Lindsey Graham came out this week and said, okay, well, it is a real thing, climate change. But so it's, the thing is that we're a small world now, and it's something that has to be thought about across the board. I mean, the impact of, say, chemical producers is minimal compared to that of vehicles and things like that. So the move towards electric vehicles will take place, but then second and third world countries will take those petro vehicles and they'll keep using them. So there's this there has to be this consciousness that we are a small world, and emerging countries that are just devastating their resources has an impact on us.
Yeah.
And so even though sustainability is in every single level of our business right now, it will continue to be in every level and grow in every level of our business because we have to be sustainable. But that said, chemicals are not the enemy. They are the ones that are going to come up with the solutions.
Yep.
So you have to support the people that are able to come up with the solutions today. And the chemical producers and distribution, they don't want to they don't want to harm the world. They want electric trucks to move our stuff around. We want to have zero impact on the environment. We're working towards that. There's a much greater problem out there, carbon dioxide being the major problem,
Yep.
And not a huge, it's not a huge pollutant from necessarily just from the chemical industry. It's worldwide, and so that has to be brought into control. So
Yeah, I think as a whole, we've kind of avoided talking about, some of these sustainable things and buzzwords and electric vehicles and stuff. But I mean, something like this with these regulations, it's a legitimate, tangible impact that we're already seeing on raw material availability and pricing and, these plasticizers that companies are producing that are bio-based and all this other stuff. It's becoming a very real, very, tangible thing in the chemical industry. And I think will be a trend for years and decades to come.
Totally agree, and I think if we ignore it, it'll just have a more severe impact. If we're conscious of it, and like you said, it's happening right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's reasons why we're having impact on our supply chain because of what's happening in this small world that we live on.
Yeah. But moving along, I know Javier's had a busy month with Mexico and Latin America, both going on a shopping spree in Latin America, placing some orders coming to the States, as
Yeah,
well as
for
obviously,
sure.
Latin American customers. So what's the overall feeling?
Yeah, it's been really busy for the most part, and as I said, like we are exporting more than we ever done due to the lead times. People are getting used to longer lead times. People have to say people are planning better. We're talking about June, July already. So that's been a plus because we cannot count on 6 to 8 weeks or 5, 7 from Europe or the Middle East, 11, 12 weeks. We have to plan ahead. But people are changing and on the way they plan just in time. It was never a thing in Latin America because we don't produce much things. But things are getting better, and COVID's still a problem in some countries. The vaccine has not get there, and it won't get there until further months. So yeah, but overall things are decent, and we are still buying from Latin America, selling to Latin America. We have good partners in south of the border, so.
It seems like we've seen more and more of our producing partners in Latin America being sold out on allocations, which seems like it bodes well. Plants are busy and they're running.
Plants are busy. Plants have been run hard, so they are running at full capacity at the moment with the raw materials that they're having a lot of delays on the raw materials, alcohols, things like that, acids, but things are going well.
It's nice to see them come back robustly.
Yes.
They were really slow for quite some time as the lockdowns with COVID really restricted, had a greater impact, I'd say, there than even domestically here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, price updates and trends for April. We are mid-April. I guess we're even closer to May at this point. Seeing some crazy benzene numbers, especially the last week or so. But it seems like, on the raw material front, not that the raw material pricing seems to have a huge role on supply and demand and pricing and things like that. Certainly much more supply driven, but we are seeing raw material numbers continuing to move upwards. It seems
That's a got to be a record, over $5 per gallon for. It's like benzene was jealous of propylene. I wanted to catch up with propylene, and propylene's record highs of last month, but. Benzene, propylene. Next, you'll probably see gasoline. I mean, we're only at $62, $63 per barrel WTI, but if you look at history, there's probably going to be as we come out of the COVID depression, if you will, there's going to be certainly a rise. You're already seeing tremendous volumes of air traffic now. That's happening as we speak. People are getting out on the road more. People are traveling more, vacations, etc. So I predict higher, fuel prices, obviously. So
yeah.
And usually the summer is the high driving season, so every year the prices in summer always go up. So it shouldn't be any different this year.
Yeah, so that'll higher fuel surcharges, higher costs in shipping, and I mean, shipping's going to be 50% of the value of your goods at some point, maybe even as much as the value of your goods at some point. It's getting completely out of control, and it could get worse. But yeah, the raw materials are, ethylene is up, 9 cents a pound. Propylene came down, 18, 20 cents a pound or something like that. But, well over $1 a pound, at some point. So,
Yep.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting to watch this and to see the disparity. Usually, if benzene's up, it's a condition of crude and mixed xylenes, and it goes up. But no, they're an anomaly on their own. right now. What's going on there? I don't know the details, but seeing these anomalies happen is very interesting.
And even then, I think at least coming into May as well, pricing's gonna be driven more by supply and demand than it is raw material anyways. So it's interesting to see what effect, if any, that'll have on it.
Yeah, for sure.
Featured products, seasonal, new products. I think I've had the toughest 3 or 4 months trying to figure out what products to feature. And list is, new and available since the list seems to be getting almost shorter every single day. But it's been certainly interesting. I think one thing we'd like to highlight from TCC's front is our global, supply and, sourcing capabilities. I know especially Javi's been busy sourcing material from all over the world with different products. We're proud to have multiple sources and multiple supply locations and partners on almost all of our products. Obviously proud to have 1 or 2 core suppliers for most of our products, but having options in time like these where there's outages or seasonalities or, different supply conditions around different places. So, I know we're happy, especially on the plasticizer side of things, to, be your concierge to the chemical industry, I know, as Robb likes to say, and allow us to help secure your supply with certain times like these.
Absolutely. We'll keep product in inventory. We'll pay CIA and deliver and give you terms. There's things that we could do, take advantage of the strengths that we've built into our supply chains. And, right now, alcohols and acids, which make the esters that we sell, are extremely tight, but we still have different products, and we're seeing things getting better here very soon. We have alternative products that we've offered and kept people supplied with. And then we have new and upcoming products like the Pevelin from Perstorp, which are not dependent upon traditional acids and alcohols that most general purpose plasticizers are. So we've got things in the pipeline that are really cool and have a lot of the traditional general purpose right to the specialty, which we're working very hard to get much more product available and better supply, which is coming soon.
Moving on, events, trade shows, conferences. We actually have some things listed here for, I think, the first time in a while.
Finally.
That's new.
It's nice to see.
That's exciting. Actually, Rob, can I go to the concrete show? Or the
anything to get you out of here.
Why don't we?
You want to go to the concrete show because it's in Vegas? Is that where?
Yes.
I didn't even know that. It's not even on here, but I had a feeling that it was.
Can I go to the fertilizer show too?
Let's do our.
I mean, man, you're vaccinated. You do what you want to do at this point, So I'm not holding back on selling at this point, but keep in mind we have nothing to sell. Yeah. So you're going out on sales calls. We got nothing to sell.
Yes.
So
It's
exciting
exciting
to plant some seeds.
Yes.
So a sales call with nothing to sell is just a vacation.
So you want me to pay for your vacation?
Yes,
I get it.
Planting seeds.
I'll tell you can go to Vegas, but you got to bring the baby and Angela with you. How about that? Is that
That's
okay?
fine. That's fine.
Let's all go. We can do our next podcast from
Remote.
June podcast from Vegas.
I
You
like
got
it.
to get your vaccination, AJ.
I
No, I don't.
Very exciting to see a list of shows. You can go ahead and list the shows, but we haven't seen this area has been blank for so many months. So this is good. This is a good sign into the right direction.
I mean, do you want to take over the section for me since you?
I'm excited. I'm just happy. I'm just happy. You can go ahead, Benny.
Well, the first one coming up is virtual, so we're not in person yet, but TCC's excited to be a sponsor of the PVC 2021 conference, something that's hosted by an organization called IM3 that's more kind of specific on the European market, one that's every 3 years. Obviously, this year they pivoted to a virtual event, but typically a pretty good attendee list, great schedule that they put together as well. A bunch of good speakers, a couple different segments, whether it's sales focused or productions focused or regulatory focused. So we're excited to be, I believe it's a silver sponsor of that virtual event coming up in May. But then jumping into some in-person shows that I think at least have a fighting chance of not getting pushed off or canceled. Obviously the World of Concrete coming up in June. AJ and Corey Mullins will be down at the Southwestern Fertilizer Conference in July.
And Javier now.
Javier will be there as well.
Javier will be there too.
Okay.
We have some things in the works to potentially put together TCC's first annual summer golf outing. in June, which isn't on this list yet, and Rob doesn't even know about that yet, but
Yeah, very good.
that's in the works. So if you're in New England and potentially want to play some golf in June,
Well, it's official now since it's on the podcast.
it's official. It's official.
That's exciting. Hit the links. There's nothing wrong with being outdoors, you know.
So if you're in New
You're not gonna
England,
get sick there.
yeah, if you're in New England, want to play some golf, send Javier a WhatsApp,
Yep.
and we'll get you on the list.
Yep.
Chemicals America in Charleston, which got moved, I think, from July to September. Supposed to be in September now, at least. That's down at the Belmont in Charleston. I know one of our favorite shows. I think easily one of the best attendee type of shows that we go to. That TCC will have a corner booth at, as well as our sister company TLC, which will be there for the first time. So should be hopefully a good one that'll go on. And then we're keeping an eye on the AFPM in October. So I think assuming that AFPM goes on, TCC will be there in some capacity at least.
Guarantee we'll be there.
as
We'll
well
be
as-
there robustly.
As well as hopefully the EPCA as well, which I believe is still supposed to be in October. So we're keeping an eye on those things for the fall. And
I keep looking for the
optimistic.
EPCA. I haven't seen anything. So
No?
if those overlap, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep looking. I don't know if you've seen it. I saw the last one was a virtual 2020, but I haven't seen anything on the EPCA. It wouldn't really make sense to,
Yeah.
have, AFPM and then piggyback that right to the EPCA or vice versa. So I don't know. We'll see. But I'd love to get back and see our European partners and spend some time in Europe, either Berlin or Vienna or Budapest. And it's always nice to go there.
Yeah.
AFPM is San Antonio in October.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not going to be there when there's the Final Four and the NCAA championships for a change. It'll be kind of odd.
Yeah, it's a good point. That is always there when we're there.
It's
in some
always there.
capacity.
Yeah.
But yeah, some things on the list. We're excited. Hopefully, get back and do some traveling. Did you book your flights yet for anything? I know we were looking at the American Airlines website. It looked kind of foreign.
I haven't booked them yet, but
It's been a while.
I think I know which one I'm going to go with. But already starting to set some meetings for the Southwestern Fertilizer Conference. So hopefully that one sticks.
Well, we got to be shaking hands, you think, or just like fist bumps?
Hugs.
Fist bumps, hugs.
Elbows.
Elbows.
I'm jumping in with both feet.
Transition to cheek kisses like Europe.
Yep.
Double cheek
Very,
kiss.
very sanitary. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be weird. Like I would shake people's hand. I mean, personally,
Yeah.
you know.
I still do out of habit. Like whenever I see somebody or meet
Yeah.
somebody, I put my hand out just out of.
Well, the
out of
CDC
habit.
changed the guideline. You don't get COVID from shaking hands. I mean, you do get flus and other things, but you don't get COVID from it. So I guess you could theoretically shake hands. But I have a feeling that the masks will stay and social distancing and meetings will probably be the protocol, and elbows and fist bumps will be also protocol.
We have those little TCC sanitizer bottles. Javi will have it clipped to his jeans, his belt loop.
Sanitary. I forgot my bottom.
Every belt loop.
But yeah, we're excited to get back out, get back traveling. You know, if anybody's gonna be at any of those shows that we just listed, or if there's any that I, forgot on that list, please let us know, and we're, happy to keep growing that list and put some shows in the books.
I talked to a guy the other day that's done 73 trips, business trips since COVID started. I'm like, how did you? Like,
Wow.
he was the only person in the whole chemical world traveling around meeting with people. But he was proud of it.
Yeah, because we've tried, but people didn't want to see us. Oh,
Right.
you can't come in our plant. The doors are shut. We only have limited people. I mean, it's not like we didn't try.
Yeah. He said he had meetings in parking lots with people, like across two cars. That, he was, I don't know, maybe he doesn't want to be at home with his family. I don't know.
There's something else going on there.
Good for him. I'd like to find out who that is after the podcast.
But yeah, so wrapping things up, I think we'd like to congratulate Javi and Angela on moving into their new house this week. Big news.
Seems like we're always congratulating you on something.
It's never work related. It's
It's
always
not work related. Life is good.
Bought another house. He just bought Trump Tower. He's always something going on with you guys. You're busy, but yeah, congrats on the new house.
Thank you, guys.
It's beautiful.
Any other internal news that I forgot? Anything else going on?
No. My father's had a surgery, and he's recovering, and things are going well. So I think it's good to note that he's improving, and we're going in the right direction because it was a pretty major surgery that he had. And
He's back home now, which is good news.
yep, back home as of yesterday. Going up to see his doctor today, and things are going well. Knock on wood. So thoughts and prayers appreciated from everybody out there.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Well, as always, we appreciate it. I think it was a pretty good episode. Appreciate you
Pretty
guys.
good. Just pretty good.
Pretty good. It was pretty good. No, it was a good one. A lot of stuff going on. Obviously,
There's a lot of serious talk going on here. I mean, there's serious issues that we're seeing in the supply chains, and I hope people, heed our warnings, because we have been pretty accurate with our warnings over the last year or so, and this is time to really hop on board and get things in the pipeline.
Yeah, I think as always, we're happy, on a one-on-one basis if anyone wants to reach out and talk about certain individual products and what those supply chains look like and lead times and all that good stuff. Obviously we're happy to help in whatever capacity we can. And I think our overwhelming 2 cents is to get orders on the books and secure supply chains for the summertime, because you can close your eyes and hope all you want that supply will get better by then, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like that's the case. So better to secure your supply chains and have things in the pipeline coming up.
That's wishful thinking. Yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you for streaming, whether you're on the audio version or looking at our pretty faces via the video versions.
Listening is preferred.
Don't tell the Kettlebottom guys that. But yeah, thank you for listening along. Obviously appreciate anyone that's been listening for the last 53 episodes. Crazy that we're at that number, but pretty exciting.
I forgot to mention.
Oh, please do. What do you got?
The masks were very popular. That we had customers from everywhere wanting the mask. We sent
cool.
we sent stuff up to Australia.
Wow.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did he get that, by the way? Have you heard back from him yet?
No, I haven't. I'll ask.
It may take a while.
Okay.
It might take a while,
yeah.
but yeah, customers like, you have a mask? Like, yeah. I was like, can I have something? Like, of course.
Yeah.
It's free marketing.
Yeah. Well, hit us up. They do work. We know.
They do work, and if you want a mask, let us know. We'll send you some the chemical company masks.
Absolutely.
Send Javier WhatsApp. That's the exclusive channel for TCC masks.
Yes.
We said last time it was the only thing we had to sell, right?
Yeah.
So now we're giving them
Now
away.
we're giving it away.
Sales 101 by Javi.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine 2 years ago if I wanted to approach people and say, "Hey, can I have some free marketing by putting our logo on your face?" And be like, "What are you talking about?" Like, no, absolutely not. Now it's like, "Oh yeah, send them over. We'll wear them happily."
So once the masks are gone, we'll have to get tattoos,
I mean, we can.
face tattoos.
We can, like the World of Concrete show.
Yeah, like Tyson.
Yeah.
Did you know that at the World of Concrete show there was a booth that was doing tattoos? They had a tattoo artist that would do like a Milwaukee tool tattoo,
No
with, like
way.
legit real tattoos.
Yeah.
Wow.
And people were lined up for it.
Wow.
Javi's like, "Oh, henna tattoos." We're like, no, like real, like real.
I thought they were, PG.
Yeah, no, like real tattoos.
No.
How do you think that would fly if we did that at the NPE chemical company booth with a tattoo artist there? We could. Not a bad idea, right?
I don't think we get any takers. The concrete show's got a different client, a different group than
Cast
the
of
plastic
characters.
show. Yeah.
Understand.
Yeah, you got one booth giving away beer, and then the next booth is giving tattoos. It's a recipe for success.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you again for listening. You appreciate it. Thank you to the Kettlebottom Creative guys over here for obviously the production of the show, and we will catch you. Actually, we have a mid-month episode coming up. We're going to have Karen and Alex as a regulatory episode on in 2 weeks. So
great.
The next episode will not be us. It will be some ladies for a change, which would be nice to have them on
very
and,
nice,
and do
yes.
a regulatory episode. So keep an eye out for that here in the next 2-3 weeks. And obviously, we'll see you next month as normal.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you,
Thank you.
man.
Thanks, guys.